Okay, so good morning and welcome everyone to this first webinar for applicants regarding TrustChain Open Call 2, user privacy and data governance. So this webinar will mainly be related to a small presentation of the TrustChain objective and vision, and then we will go deeply in the Open Call 2 activities and objective, and what can help you to construct your application. So regarding TrustChain, just for your information, this is a European project funded under the Horizon Europe Research and Innovation Program. We are a partner of the European Commission Next Generation Internet Initiative, namely NGI. And this project is a cascade funding project that has been launched in January 2023. We have up to 8,7,500 euro of funding and mentoring program with best international experts in a different field, namely business and legal regulatory frame, also everything that deals with the user-centric approach, also in terms of communication, and these will be some services that will be also delivered to our selected project. We also have expertise in different infrastructure, and by the way, we have with us Alastria, which is a blockchain infrastructure. Regarding the overall objective, TrustChain intends to achieve human-centered, trustworthy, and sustainable decentralized internet. And the idea is also to empower innovators and end users through 5 open calls to create a portfolio of next-generation internet protocols and ecosystem of decentralized identity management software solution. This ecosystem should be transparent to the user, interoperable, privacy-aware, regulatory compliant, and the solution should seamlessly integrate and interoperate with any of existing decentralized applications. The partners, so I already mentioned Alastria, that is one of our technical partners and that can provide its infrastructure for the project. As technical partner, we have also the University of Ljubljana, in particular the Faculty of Computer and Information Science. We have C, University of London. We have also oriented both on technical aspect and economics one, and business aspect, Athens University of Economics and Business. And in a very short time, we'll have also the National Capodestrian University of Athens with quite the same expertise. Regarding legal and regulatory aspects, we have Timeless as experts, and with what concern all topic related to the user-centric approach, we have with us Cyber Voluntarios in Spain. We have also, regarding all communication and dissemination activity, F6S. And finally, European Dynamics in Luxembourg, that is the coordinator of the project. how we intend to implement TrustChain. So I already passed some word regarding that. So 5 open calls. Each open call provides key technology that can be used as basis for development in the subsequent call, while also the opposite interaction be employed by later calls. So in our schedule, this can be done because we have a kind of overlapping of the open call, so the possibility from one open call to discuss with the other. Open call 1, decentralized digital identity, has already been set up. We have actually 13 projects selected that are starting to work on this topic. And the focus of today is on open call 2, user privacy and data governance. So you can see that we have a frame with that, and of course, around these 5 open calls, we consider also the human-centric design that is really paramount in this project. We have also aspects related to the market framework and business potential. Also, we take care of the regulatory framework and everything that deals with e-democracy. These 3 main topics are cross-issue of the 5 open calls. And maybe one is missing also in this slide is related to standardization and greenness of the solutions that are going to be developed in that project. What is the overall approach? So whatever the call, we aim to implement a co-creation process with the engagement of end user since the very beginning of the project. So that means since the requirement and specification phase till the validation of the proposed solution. So this is something that is really important to be considered in your application. We will discuss a little bit more about that later on. What is intended to be done is provide democratic, transparent, traceable, and regulatory compliant mechanisms that can support any ecosystem of entities and actors participating with their digital identity. And to achieve that, we want you, applicant, to decentralize digital identity architecture together with IoT, AI, cloud to edge, DLT, and DT, and embed in such solution important societal goals in accordance with objective truth and therefore trustworthiness. Trustworthiness is also one very important aspect of TrustChain. So let's deep now in open call 2, user privacy and data governance. The agenda. So we will discuss a bit more about the objective of this open call and the requirements. We will focus also on some specific aspects to be covered in your proposal. What do you need to explain in your proposal? We will also have some time on the human-centered approach in TrustChain, how you should implement that, and how to take care also of ethic aspects in your application. Then we will discuss a bit more about the eligibility criteria and the selection process, how to apply and why. We will move also to frequently asked questions, and then the floor will be yours. We'll be able to paste your any question that you have in the Q&A box, and we will of course take them and answer to them on the fly. What is open call 2, user privacy and data governance? So it has been launched the 20th of July, and it will be closed the 20th of September, 5 p.m. CET. The overall budget for this open call 2 is 1,989,000 euro that will be distributed among up to 17 selected projects, and this project will last 9 months. There will be a total of 117K per project distribute. And the focus of this open call 2 is on a trustworthy online platform that preserve user data privacy and provide strong data governance frameworks. So for your proposal, you are invited and encouraged to answer this requirement. They are not the only one, but the main one that you should consider. So first of all, adopt a co-creation process with end user from requirement elicitation till validation. You should also use standard technology for full stack development. Your solution should be open source and desirably achieve or reach TRL 7. Your solution should extend the state of the art in the domain of user privacy and or solve existing real-world problems with data governance and provide new highly usable software. So these 4 topics should be made clear in your proposal. So at one point you should discuss about this in your proposal. So let's move to the next slide and see what we really want. So we really want that you develop tools, cryptographic mechanisms, and other algorithms for data handling and sharing, as well as for the management of data lakes in compliance with GDPR and other regulation. You should, for that, implement techniques such as mechanism for multi-party data sharing, protocols for privacy-preserving data sharing, using techniques from technologies such as federated learning, both vertical and horizontal framework. You should also implement techniques that implement privacy-preserving data processing, data storage and data computation techniques such as differential privacy, data obfuscation, perturbation, anonymization techniques. You should also implement encrypted data analytics based on homomorphic encryption and trust execution environment, protocols to verify authenticity and accuracy of data using technology like zero-knowledge proof, protocols to support the digital sovereignty-based data flow and data space initiative, data identification, data provenance, data tracking mechanism or protocol should be built so that the data that is exchanged can be tracked, and so that trustworthy data handling according to the user consent can be verified. So these are techniques that you should consider, one or more of that one. And your application should clearly define, upgrade, extend the state of the art, and develop the following type of solution. So enhance consent profile to implement transparent and user-friendly consent mechanisms, that clearly explain how user data will be collected, used, and shared, data minimization and purpose limitation techniques built in the web framework, secure data exchange and privacy-aware data processing also must be the cornerstone of the new data economy. So privacy of training data, machine learning models, and model parameters should be aimed for. You should also consider the amount of new privacy-preserving data flow techniques in line with international data sharing agreements so that the user has choice to tune data parameters for trading, sharing of data. You can also consider the development of new mechanisms in line with the international data flow standards so that the data can move freely within the EU and across international borders, including USA, Japan, and China. You can also consider the data identification, data provenance, data tracking mechanism, so that the data that is exchanged can be tracked. Then also one point of interest could be data certification verification method to be developed in order to verify the trustworthiness of the data. Also modern privacy enhancing technology such as local differential privacy and other interactive privacy techniques, taking also into account online publicly available data sets that can be linked to the original data. Finally, but not least, you can also consider data obfuscation, perturbation, and anonymization techniques, or their combination that properly address the trade-off between privacy preservation and data utility. So, of course, these are all examples, so you can consider one or the integration of several of them in your application. Let's focus now in some specific aspects to be covered in your proposal. One important point is to use the mandatory TrustChain proposal template. So you can, of course, find it on our TrustChain website. You have all the documents there. What do you need to explain considering this template? So you need to explain the specific technological innovation you propose to develop and how it is clearly different from alternative solutions that are already available in the market or developed by previous European research and innovation action. I can cite one, but this is not the only one that you should benchmark your solution with. For example, the TustChain project, but there are many other state-of-the-art solutions that you should compare with the ones you are going to propose and clearly justify why and how you innovate. Then one point that is also very important to us, so the specific user privacy and data governance needs or challenge you propose to address, and who would benefit from it immediately and in the long term. In particular, you should clearly specify the open call to challenges you are going to address. So all this, you can refer also the guide for applicants. You should also take care of any challenges or opportunity related to equality, diversity, ethics, and inclusion arising from your project. You should explain this. You should also justify the focus of your innovation, if it is totally disruptive approach or something that you are going to build on already existing bases. So in that sense, you should explain any related work that has been already done. And for example, if your project focuses on developing an existing capability or building a new one, explain how your proposed solution will align with the building blocks developed as part of the Open Call 1 on digital identity. So you can refer for that to our TrustChain website, and also explain how you intend to engage end user in the co-creation process, which is, as already mentioned, really important. So I will leave the floor regarding that aspect to Maria from Cyber Voluntarius in order for her to give you some tips that you should consider in your proposal. So please, Maria.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we'll explain a little bit more about how to implement the user-centric approach that at some point it will be scalable to the human-centric approach that we are looking for in TrustChain project. So the first thing is the ideation of your solution. You will have now an idea, but you need to double check with the end user. So first of all, you need to identify who is going to be the end user of your tool, and then ask them if they reach the information, if they need such a solution, or if they have a necessity that your solution will answer. So then you need to incorporate them in the process of the ideation. You have plenty of methods. So we are looking for mainly qualitative methods. So for example, workshops, focus groups, some interviews are the best to know the necessities, to know exactly how they picture a solution that will answer the necessities. So this is the first thing. And before that, we need to, ideate something, brainstorm, but then double check with the end user, and then to be aware of what they told us for the next steps of the solution design, development, and then the evaluation. So once the tool is developed, the end user needs to validate the tool. That means that your prototype or your solutions, if it's launched, needs to be validated. You will have to frame a sample of end users and then conduct usability test, for example, or moderated or unmoderated, to know if they know how to use your solution, and if they will do it once is launch of the market and once is TrustChain finished. So this is a brief overview of how to implement the user-centric approach, and I will leave the floor to the legal representative to talk about the legal aspect and the ethical one. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, this actually really important to justify your user-centered approach in your application. So let's move now to the ethical aspect in TrustChain. You should assess the ethical aspect of your project using the ethics questionnaire in the guide for applicants. So this is you will find it in the administrative form. This is your responsibility. Any potential infringement of ethics principle and or any potential harm can result in the rejection of your proposal. So this is something that we are going to check accurately. So be careful to that. The most relevant topic to be addressed is the data protection. Whenever you process personal data as part of your project, so in that case, the main obligation are inform data subject, ensure having a legal basis for processing the data. So for example, to have a consent when required, and also in order to be compliant, you have also to consult your DPO if you have one that will provide you all the necessary knowledge in order to be compliant in any case. What is important also is to seek, whenever required, an approval from an external independent advisor on the measure you propose to mitigate any ethical risk. So these are really important aspects to be considered. So I just recall here, first of all, to clearly identify any ethics aspect in the ethics questionnaire that you have in the guide for applicants. But also, in any case, if using sensitive data, please justify this in your proposal inside a section that is more related to data management. So this will be important to consider also from your side. So now let's move to the eligibility criteria and selection process. So who are we looking for? So developers, innovators, researchers from the academic sector or the private sector. So SMEs and entrepreneurs working on different NGI relevant topics and application domains at the intersection between the technical field, the social science and humanities, as well as any other, including economics, environment, art, design, which can contribute to the NGI TrustChain relevant vision. So this is not only a matter of being a technologist, but also to showcase some knowledge and expertise in other fields that are also, let's say, cross-cutting issue of this TrustChain project and vision. You should be part of the eligible country. So for that, I would ask you to refer to the guide for applicants and also to be eligible as a type of applicant. So we will maybe come back to this in the frequently asked question. How the selection process is implemented. So there is 3 phases. First of all, an eligibility check. And if you pass this, this first threshold, let's say that your proposal will be evaluated by external independent expert and internal expert of the TrustChain consortium. And then if you pass this phase, you will be invited to an online interview where then up to 17 projects will be selected. So in general, for the online interview, we select up to 20 projects, 23 projects, and then we select the 17 projects that will implement their solution. So you will receive at that point an agreement to be signed, and you will be able to proceed. How and why to apply? So how to apply? As already mentioned several times, there is, let's say, only one entry point for submitting your application, which is the F6S link that you have here. Any submission received by any other channel will be automatically discarded. So you have to go through this and apply, especially regarding Open Call 2. Any kind of information that you need are on our website, so the TrustChain NGI.eu, or you can also find some information, basically the same, on the F6S portal under the mentioned TrustChain Open Call 2. So you have to provide a comprehensive research proposal according to the TrustChain template and instruction set in the guideline for applicant, and as we discussed previously. You have also to fill in the administrative part, including any obligatory supporting documents specified in the guide for applicant. So please read carefully this guide for applicant. And here I just summarize some tips and tricks for a good proposal. So as already just aforementioned, read carefully the TrustChain Open Call 2 document and guide for applicant. Basically, there is all the information needed there. Check carefully the eligibility criteria. Take a look at the frequently asked questions on our website. And of course, most important, use the official Open Call 2 TrustChain template for your proposal. Why to apply? Why to apply? TrustChain will offer you equity-free funding. This is a result-based payment according to predefined KPIs. So this is also mentioned in the guide for applicant. TrustChain will offer you also coaching on technical and business aspects, as well as access to top infrastructure. So especially you will have access to the Alastria infrastructure whenever needed. Just to mention, this infrastructure is compliant with Ethereum. And regarding the other coaching support services, so it will be an access to various expertise for scaling up innovative business, but also to implement your user-centric approach. And also you will have some support with regard legal and regulatory aspects that are related to your solution. You will have also the possibility to increase your visibility, and you will have promotion support and also support for networking towards the TrustChain community. You will have access to a wider NGI community and the possibility for matchmaking between innovators and connection with some accelerators and or venture capitalists for the one who end up implementing their solution. let's move now to some frequently asked questions. What are the open call to TrustChain timelines? So already discussed about this. So the call announcement was the 20th of July, and it will close the 20th of September at 5 p.m. CET. Regarding the evaluation period, it will last up to 3 months after the call closure, and we expect the signature of the SUGAR agreement up to 1 month after the announcement of the final list of selected projects. And with what concern project implementation in themselves, so it will be from January 2024 to September 2024, nine months duration project. What is a cascade funding project? So it is also known as financial support for third party. It is a mechanism of the European Commission to distribute public funds in order to create new company, increase their scalability, and mainly dedicated to SMEs or mid-cap companies in the adoption or development of digital innovation. The main objective of this financing method is to simplify administrative procedure with SMEs, thus allowing some project financed by the EU to issue in terms open call to obtain more funding. So this is typically the case in TrustChain. We are a cascade funding project. We get some funds from the European Commission in order to implement open call and in return fund some SMEs, startups, academics, etc. The next slide, where does the funding come from? So already mentioned, it comes from the European Commission, and the TrustChain consortium has the responsibility to distribute them under a specific sub-agreement signed by the selected applicant and the TrustChain consortium. So you have already access to the model of this sub-agreement. It can be good for you also to have a look to it in the guide for applicant. How does the funding mechanism work? The funding mechanism relies thus on this cascade funding scheme. And I just encourage you to go back to the guide for applicant. That is the only manual that you should have with you when applying. Everything is mentioned in that document. Regarding eligibility, so you have to be or a team of natural persons, so a team of individuals, or established in any eligible country. This does not consider the country of origin, but the residence permit. Okay, and of course, a team means that you are at least 2 inside, and you should justify that you have the capacity to implement the project. It could be also a legal entity, 1 or more entities. So in that case, a consortium established in an eligible country. It can be universities, research centers, NGOs, foundation, micro, small and medium-sized enterprise. Or also large enterprise working on internet and other related technology are eligible. It can be also any combination of the above, so a team of natural person with 1 or more legal entity. What are the countries eligible for funding under TrustChain Open Call? So you should go and refer to the guide for applicant, but in quick terms, these are the member states of the European Union, including their outermost regions, the overseas countries and territories linked to the member states, and the Horizon Europe associated country as described in the reference document and the list of participating countries in Horizon Europe. So you have this list, you have some link to this list in the guide for applicant, and you can refer, of course, to them. Can I submit several projects to one specific call? Open call are very competitive and applicants should focus on one specific topic. So TrustChain Consortium recommends you to submit one application per call, whether you are a legal entity and or a team of natural person. In any case, in the event of multiple submission, only the last one received will be considered for the evaluation process. We can do that because we have the timestamp on the F6S system, so please consider this. Any other submitted proposal involving the same applicant will be declared non-eligible and will not be evaluated in any case. So please take care of this. Can I apply to TrustChain 5 open calls? Yes, you can. However, note that the maximum funding eligible per third party within the TrustChain project is limited to 200K euro. So that means that if you are selected to 2 open calls, you can get the maximum fund for one and less for the other one, in any case reaching this threshold of 200K. And I think that's all from our side. So I, for the moment, thank you for listening and attending this webinar. So just now, this is the time for question and answer. I just recall that you can paste them in the Q&A box. So let's start. I can see 8 already questions. Will the webinar be recorded? So yes. And it will be shared ASAP on our web portal. So the response is yes. Second question, where we could find documentation of building blocks from Open Call 1? Do you have a specific link? So for that, you should refer to some Open Call 1 document, but also go in our TrustChain website where you will see the selected project, and you will then understand. I don't know if there are other member of the consortium that want to answer on this question, but I think that's it from for that.
If I may add.
Yes, Thanasis, please.
Hello everybody. I'm Thanasis Papayouan from NKUA. So there are no currently, since the Open Call 1 projects have just started like 1 month ago. So there are no, let's say, production grade components that you are able to use. Although all these Open Call 1 components were related to the decentralized identity management area. So in general, we promote greatly the ideals of decentralized identities. And so your solution should be able to take advantage of solutions around in the area of decentralized identity management. That said, we have a generic framework descriptions of all the existing Open Call One projects so that you can better align your solution to whatever they develop, but don't expect to have any kind of component integration within your solutions based on what has been developed in Open Call One, only conceptually.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Thanasis, for that detail. So next question, are there any scope limitation in the type of use cases co-created with end user? So eventually, Maria, this is a question for you.
Yeah, there's no limitations in the type of use cases co-created within users, but you need to keep in mind the ethical and the legal aspects. So there are some use cases that are more difficult and more not that easy to justify. For example, health and regarding data, I won't recommend it, but in case your use case is aware of all the legal aspects and tackle them and justify the proposal, there's no limitation.
Thank you, Maria. So next question, with regard to the user-centric approach, are we expected to have conducted focus group, interview, etc. before submitting the proposal?
It's
so,
highly,
again, Maria.
Yeah, it's highly recommendable, but it's not mandatory. But you need to have in mind that in the proposal need to be described the user-centric approach. So if you describe it well and know how to implement it in the future, you don't need to have any expertise before the proposal submission.
Thank you, Maria. So next question, more about eligibility. Can we get a UK entity to be part of the application consortium? So in principle, this is not an issue. Just for your information, when elaborating a consortium, you will have to declare legal representative of the consortium, first of all, and you will have also to implement a consortium agreement if you are selected. So this is also something important to consider. And the funding will, in any case, go to the legal representative of the consortium. So next question, is it possible for rejected project at the Open Call 1 to resubmit their proposal at the Open Call 2 with the appropriate changes? So yes, the answer is of course self-contained in the question. As long as you answer the requirement and the condition, and you let's say justify that your solution is compliant and in the scope of Open Call 2, yes, there is no issue. So the next question, is there a section in the web where the description of the project selected in the previous Open Call 1 is detailed? I just was able to find a list of the chosen one. So actually, as already mentioned by Thanasis, you can just have this list that is described in the website and have only some conceptual idea of what is going to be implemented, since we are only at the very beginning of this Open Call 1 project implementation.
But you can
Next.
also refer to F6S team, because they are gathering some information from the projects and which they will publish. So more details will come on all projects, and also new developments in the projects and news will also be appearing in the site. So you should be able soon to see more information on the projects, on the Open Call 1 projects at least.
Thank you, Thanasis, for this ad. Regarding the next question, our startup received previous funding for a project presented for one of the NGI on TustChain Open Call. Are we still eligible to take part in the NGI TrustChain Open Call? So the answer is quite straightforward. Yes, of course, you are. Next question, is the usage of Alastria obligatory? I think I can pass the word to Iker or Alexander. Iker, are you here?
Yes, I will answer, no problem. No. The usage of Alastria is not obligatory nor mandatory, and not even something that is recommended. The usage of Alastria is something that is available for use it, but it is not obligatory at all.
Thank you, Iker. Can any blockchain be used? So I believe that yes, Iker or Thanasis, you can answer to that. Iker, please.
Well, without entering in too much details, you can use any blockchain that makes sense to use. Anything that is reliable, anything that can be used and will be scalable, and that has sense. Not, for example, totally private networks or local networks or something, things like that, but anything that makes sense, yes.
I also want to say something that maybe was not. Yes, thanks, Iker. I was also about to say something that I'm not sure that was emphasized enough. So in TrustChain, we aim to build solutions that improve or build upon also on previous solutions that have been developed, especially within the NGI framework. So, and of course, we will have a significant innovative part. And of course, we will improve the maturity of the solutions significantly within the framework of the TrustChain. But mainly it's our goal not to, as much as possible, not to reinvent the wheel. So whatever, if you can build on something which is primitively already there, or if you can really benefit from previous NGI projects of yours or others, this has to be exploited as much as possible. Of course, as I said, the innovative component should be strong as well and stand alone so that you can be funded for a new project. You cannot have everything ready. It's clear. And regarding this blockchain, I think that I would really stick to the general applicability. So the greater the applicability of your solution, the better. So as far as this is satisfied, then you can choose any blockchain network, but the numbers. the numbers right now is that in the development community, most of the solutions have been developed in either, let me say, first Hyperledger, but also, of course, Ethereum. So these are the biggest communities. Of course, there are other blockchain networks, but I mean, be mindful of generic applicability.
Thank you, Thanasis and Liker, for this answer. So next question, when will be open next call, open call 3? So we are working on that, and it should be open in autumns, so of course before the end of this year. The guide for applicant says that the maximum amount of the fund will vary depending on the type of team, as indicated in the table below, and providing that all the phases have been completed. What are the criteria for the definition of the exact amount of funding? Thanks in advance. So look, so the type for applicant is one aspect to consider, and the number for a team of natural person and legal entity or consortium are clear in the guide for applicants. So this is one point. So you may already know, according to the type of applicant you are, what you can expect as maximum funding under this open call 2. And the second part of the answer would be that there is, for each open call, 4 mandatory deliverables that are due. And according to the quality of these 4 deliverables, a payment is linked. So also, please refer to the guide for applicant, because you have the percentage per deliverable that is mentioned. And if you do well, I mean, if the results are concrete and of good quality, then you will get this percentage. Everything is written in the guide for applicant regarding that aspect, and note that these 4 deliverables are evaluated by internal expert of the consortium. Regarding the open call 1, is there any place to check for the selected project and the protocols they are building? Sorry, I could listen when Thanasis was speaking. So maybe Thanasis, if you just want to recall what you have said quickly.
Yes, I was saying that some initial information is there, meaning some, I mean, the project list and some basic information of what they are doing, but this information is going to be updated very soon. We are gathering the information from these projects so that we can publish this information on details on these projects in the website of TrustChain. So this is underway, and the news that will be coming from the project development will be announced from time to time also in the website. So for you, just be aware that in the next 1-2 weeks you will find some more information regarding these projects online. But in any case, as I said, there are no building components for you to be based on. Just link your solution towards the generic frameworks of decentralized identity management. So that's my advice on this, but you will see yourselves.
Thank you, Thanasis. And last last question for the moment. Can be an Ethereum node install cost be eligible as project cost? So I would like that to say that there are many activities to be done in your project, and the budget is a, let's say the funding is a lump sum funding. So that means that you will get the amount in 4 installments. What is important for us to know, and you will see that also in the contract models, that we need to understand more or less what you are going to do with this fund, and it has to be, let's say, clearly justified. So you can do whatever is needed for the project with the fund, as far as it is well justified. You might have some eligible cost for I don't know, dissemination and communication activity, also personal costs. So all this has to be well justified when you will sign your agreement. And that's it. This is only what we want to see. So this was the last question. You can, there is still, let me check. We are over the time for this webinar. So I hope we have answered clearly to your question. Not that there will be in any case a second webinar the 4th of September. This is a Monday at 11 CET. This can be also useful for you, for your application. There will be more space dedicated to question and answer. So do not forget it, and sign up now. So I thank you all for your presence today, and hopefully this webinar will have been useful for starting your application. Have a good day, and the best of luck if you intend to apply, and looking forward to the solution that you will propose for this second open call. Thank you all, and bye-bye.